ESPN released an article going over all the teams that have been eliminated from the playoffs so far this year and what their outlook is for the 2025-2026 Major League Baseball offseason. And included in that list is the Boston Red Sox. So today, we're going to react to ESPN's offseason predictions. There's like 5 of them in there, which I thought were very interesting, and then just talk about what they think the outlook is for the Red Sox this offseason. Before we do that, though, we got to 6,500 subscribers. I talked about it on yesterday's video. All we needed was 25 subscribers. Well, we got more than that. Thank you all so much for helping us get to that milestone, but we're never satisfied here at the Red Sox Rundown. 7,000 subscribers is our next goal. 483 away. If you have not already hit that subscribe button for the best daily Red Sox coverage on the internet. All right, 5 predictions from ESPN, and number 1 is they re-sign Alex Bregman. Yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. We've talked about this one ad nauseum at this point, so I don't really think we need to spend much time on this. Bring him back. I think it's fairly obvious that I want him back. I think that Breslow kind of made it a little bit clear in his postseason press conference that they would value bringing him back, although he didn't get into specifics. But I think we know how valuable Alex Bregman can be off the field. And we saw glimpses of it on the field before he got hurt. But, I mean, we didn't get a full healthy season. Like, I know a lot of people want him to go. He's like, he didn't hit worth a crap. He's getting old. He got injury concerns. Well, we went over the age and the injury concerns in a video a few days ago. But in terms of he didn't hit for crap, like, do you guys remember the first half of the season before he got hurt? He was by far your best player on the team, and he was in American League MVP conversation to start the year because he was hitting so well. Then he got hurt, and he just never was the same. Well, if you get a full season of first half Bregman, that's pretty damn good. So, we didn't get that full healthy season, and I think that the Red Sox would very much like to bring Bregman back to see what he's got. And I wholeheartedly 100% agree with them. Would you re-sign Alex Bregman? There's a lot of people that would not. I'm still can't wrap my head around that. But why for yes if you would, and for no if you would not, you let me know down below in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. Be real with me. And if you say no, tell me why. Back it up. I want to hear your thoughts down below. The second ESPN prediction. So this goes hand in hand with them re-signing Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman obviously would be at third. Trevor Story would be at short, and they would shift Marcelo Mayer over to second. That is ESPN's prediction. Now, we didn't see a lot of Mayer this year. He played fine in the games that he was in. Then he got hurt, had the wrist injury, was out for the rest of the season, got surgery. It is what it is, what it is. You already know how that ended up. And, the stats on paper aren't gonna scream at you because he was still, kind of getting his feet under him. In terms of moving him to second, I would much rather move Trevor Story to second. We saw at the end of the season that the range, the accuracy, the arm strength, it's starting to wane a little bit, I think is the best way to look at it. The throwing errors at the end of the year were a lot. He had a bunch of them. And that was something that, it showed that the age is starting to get to Trevor Story. But if you are moving Mayer there, I'd be fine with it. And the reason why, for Mayer's sake, is the health. He just hasn't played. It's just the delicate way of saying this. The most games he's played in his professional career, 91 games in 2022. That was the year when he had the original wrist injury that he then had in 2025 that he had to get surgery on. But all these other years, he was also hurt. And I had someone have the gall on Instagram to question me calling him injury prone. This is the definition of injury prone. It is. And the guy was like, oh, 2022 is the same as 2025. What about the other 3 years? He's been hurt. If moving him to second base is what it takes to keep him healthy, do everything you can to keep him healthy. I love Marcelo Mayer. Marcelo Mayer was the first player, actually, this is a funny story. He was the first player I ever started personally collecting with baseball cards. Like, as a prospect, I was collecting his cards because I had such a high, like, I saw him so highly. If he can stay healthy, he can be a certified bona fide superstar in this league, but he's got to stay healthy. And if moving him to second base is the move, and that's what the Red Sox think they should do, then I'm all for it. I'd rather have Story there, but for health's sake, moving Mayer there makes sense as well. This one is a little ludicrous, and the reason why is a little ludicrous. But what about a Kristian Campbell trade? That was kind of predicted, kind of not, by David Schoenfield, who did the Red Sox portion of this article. Here's what Mr. David had to say. He said, that would still leave 4 outfielders plus Campbell, who started the season with a lot of helium after making the opening day roster. But his defense at second wasn't good, and he didn't rip up AAA after getting sent down. If anyone is the odd man out, it's probably him. So he's the one most likely to get traded. Now, the argument of his defense was bad, so trade him is a very weak argument. In my opinion, there's a lot more involved. Like, I'm sure David's a great guy. I don't know his background, but it doesn't seem like his background is covering the Red Sox on the day-to-day. Because there's a lot more involved here than just Campbell's defense wasn't great and he didn't hit that well in AAA. Like, there's a lot more involved here. Like, the outfield, like, we don't know where Kristian Campbell's going to be. It's not a certainty that he's going to play in the outfield. It looks like he might play in the outfield, but that's not confirmed. He also doesn't hold any value. Like, he holds some value. He's got a tradable contract. He's young. He's got a high ceiling. But like Jarren Duran, Wilyer Abreu, I think are better trade chips in a trade. I also don't think that the Red Sox want to move Campbell. I think Breslow, and he talked about it in the postseason post-mortem, he thinks highly of Kristian Campbell. So the argument of just like, yeah, his defense was not great and he didn't hit well in AAA, so he's the odd man out, that just doesn't make any sense, and it just doesn't feel like Schoenfield, and again, I could be wrong, but based on just those comments, it doesn't seem like he's following this team day to day, because there's a lot more factors involved with Kristian Campbell. I will say, though, no one is safe. I talked about my 4 untouchables a few videos ago. It was Anthony, Crochet, Narvaez, and Connolly Early. I said everyone else should be on the table. So if the Twins come and ask you for Kristian Campbell in a Joe Ryan trade, you got to at least consider it. But the argument that was made, I'm fine with a Campbell trade. It's just the argument that was made, I didn't love the argument that was made. Now, if the Red Sox do make a move, we will make a video. Like I said in yesterday's video, once October ends, the World Series is over, everything's going to start happening really quickly. We're going to have opt-outs. We're going to have qualifying offers. Then we're going to get into free agency, trades, winter meetings are in December. Everything happens really, really quickly, and we are going to have you covered on every single thing. Like I said, our next goal is 7,000 subscribers. 483 people are all that are needed. My goal for opening day is 10,000 subscribers. Help us be the fastest growing Red Sox channel on YouTube. Because I promise you, every time the Red Sox make a move, we will make a video. Subscribe now. Join the family today. How about bringing back Lucas Giolito? That's another thing that was predicted by ESPN. The theme of this article for the Red Sox was they're kind of standing pat, bringing back a lot of the same guys. And I'll talk about that at the end of this video. But one of the predictions was that Lucas Giolito, the Red Sox would just bring him back. So my biggest need this offseason is a number 2 starter, an upgrade in the rotation. Lucas Giolito is not the ideal upgrade to the rotation because we already know what he is. He was like your number 3. So when I'm looking for a number 2, like Giolito would be what, your 4? Like, if that's one of your if that's your premier addition, we already know what he is. We watched him pitch this year, and he wasn't bad. He was a really serviceable number 3. He gave you 145 innings at 3.41 ERA. I mean, he didn't have a bad year at all. However, he did get injured at the end of the year, which is not something I really want to toy with. The Red Sox need to be bold. They cannot, and I mean cannot, just run back 2025, because we saw how that ended. And I'm sorry if you had Connolly Early, Lucas Giolito, whoever, in Game 3, you're still not winning that game. You would have needed another Garrett Crochet, and you just don't have one. You don't have a real number 2. Lucas Giolito is not your number 2 if you were to resign him. He'd be your number 4 behind whoever your number 2 is in Bayo. So if that is your premier signing or re-signing, no. The Red Sox need to get bold this offseason. This is the offseason to get bold. Not stand pat and stay ready and run it back in 2025. I don't like that. Would you bring back Lucas Giolito? Comment yes or no down below in the comments. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but if I do, he's like your number 4. So you let me know. Yes or no, bring back Lucas Giolito. The last prediction, and this could be your number 2, maybe, is signing Merrill Kelly. I was high on Merrill Kelly at the trade deadline. I would have loved for the Red Sox to have brought in Merrill Kelly at the trade deadline. He didn't have a bad year either. He didn't. I mean, if you look at both stat lines between him and Giolito, they are very similar. 184 innings, a 3.52 ERA, the FIP of 3.76, 167 Ks to 48 walks. I talked about him a lot at the trade deadline because he was a trade target for the Red Sox. He's very consistent. If you look at his stat lines from pretty much every season, he's a consistently good number, low-end number 2, high-end number 3. I'd be fully down for signing Merrill Kelly this offseason. I would. But again, it's like he's not moving the needle for me as a premier signing of the offseason. It's him or Lucas Giolito. It's not both. Like, again, if you compare them both stat-wise, they both had pretty similar years. So, like, you're not going to sign Lucas Giolito as your 4, sign Merrill Kelly as, like, your low-end 2. Like, they're both similar. So, in my opinion, you sign one or you sign the other. You don't sign both. Because you need to swing for the fences this offseason. I talked about it in the last point about Giolito. You need to swing for the fences. This is swinging for the fences. Trading for Joe Ryan, that's swinging for the fences. Signing Dylan Cease, that's swinging for the fences. You need to be bold. These are bold moves. Merrill Kelly and Lucas Giolito are not. I'm sorry, they're not. If you want to be a World Series contender, you need to get a starter like this. Merrill Kelly would be great as a 3 or a 4. Lucas Giolito would be great as a 4. Joe Ryan's a 2. Dylan Cease is a 1B or a 2 behind Garrett Crochet. And I don't want to hear that they need to, stand back and, Merrill Kelly would be great. That'd be a great sign. No, you should be in on all of the big names. You're the Boston Red Sox, for God's sakes. Your World Series window, I think if you make the right moves, could open next season. You need to get bold. You're a big market team. Stop acting like a mid-market team. You're killing me. get bold. You should be in the conversation for every single one of the big names this offseason. Are you going to land them all? No. There's a bunch of other teams in the league too. But you should be in on every single one of them. You should be in on Joe Ryan. You should land Joe Ryan because I've already made this argument. You already started the dialogue at the trade deadline. You know what it's going to be worth. Go finish the deal. And then if you don't, you should pivot right away to Dylan Cease. You should pivot to somebody else. Merrill Kelly's great, not as your number 2, in my opinion. I think he's like your 3 or your 4. He's not your premier signing. But let me know, would you sign Merrill Kelly? S for sign if you would, P for pass if you would pass. I would. I'd take him over Lucas Giolito. Like I said, it's one or the other. It's not both, in my opinion. If you want to be bold, it's one or the other. S for sign, P for pass. You let me know down below in the comments. So I've kind of talked about this a lot at length. You can tell where I stand on this, but this was a short excerpt of David Schoenfield's big quote on what he thinks the Red Sox are going to do this offseason. He said, I think the Red Sox will play it safe and bring back a similar roster. It's not good enough. It's not. He did name some names and said if the Red Sox wanted to take a big swing, they could go after a Framber Valdez. They could go after a Shane Bieber. He did link these two to the Red Sox. He said if they want to swing big, maybe they go after Valdez, maybe they go after Bieber. And, two fine options. Bieber coming back from the surgery, only had 40 innings for the Blue Jays this year. And then Framber apparently is a bad teammate. So I don't know about that one. I really like where the clubhouse was at the end of the season. But, I mean, if you compare their stats, it's hard to compare because Bieber came back from injury, just didn't have nearly the amount of innings from the elbow. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like again, Valdez, Bieber, great. But you got to be in on the top dogs, in my opinion. If the Red Sox play it safe this offseason, that's a massive disappointment. Because, Sam Kennedy, Breslow, Cora all said this was a great step in the right direction this year. That's what he said. I firmly believe that if you make the right moves this offseason, your World Series window opens up this next year. You got to jump through the window, though. You can't just open it up and let the breeze come in. You've got to jump through the window. I've already said, you're the Boston Red Sox. You should be contending every year. You should be in on every name. Hey, credit to them. Trading for Garrett Crochet. Going and signing Alex Bregman to a massive AAV. I'll give them credit for last offseason. It was great. It was a step in the right direction. You're obviously not there yet. You got bounced in the wild card round. So you're not there. There are clear needs on this team. The window's open. Go jump through it. Be bold and go make some moves. I don't like those predictions. It's a lot of very safe predictions. This team needs to be bold. They need to go out and do something to make this team better. If they stand by and don't do anything, I'm going to be very disappointed. I'm going to crash out on this channel. I can guarantee you that. That's where we're going to end the video. I did not do this yesterday. I actually had someone comment in the comments, hey, where's the Twitter shoutouts? I did not forget you guys. Here are the Twitter shoutouts from 2 days ago. The first 10 people that followed me after that video. We got Dale. We got Naughty Bear Abridged. We got Johnny Knox, I would assume. We got Bobby, Goose Gander, Bill, Biff Fisher, Video Game Nation, Coach Rich, Michael, and Luke Dixon. Those were the 10 people that followed me on Twitter right after the video was posted 2 days ago. If you want the latest and greatest news and rumors around the Boston Red Sox, I'm constantly retweeting, I'm tweeting, I'm posting my shorts, I'm posting questions, polls, graphics, everything over on Twitter. So go follow me. It's at Jack Lauder Ray. You will not regret it. That's where we're going to end it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow with another video. And until next time, go Sox.